It's June the 30th, and I'm actually super excited to do this at our 24th show. That has been a series of now 24 shows in which we have done a grass court discussion for tennis running up to Wimbledon, and it ended up being a pretty fun thing, and I think we've garnished some nice conversations and learned a lot ourselves, and we do this anyway, so it's been nice to share it with you. And it looks like we might do hard court season. It's a long season, so
It's fun though. I love hard courts. That's my surface for sure.
so we might do hard court season. Give us some thumbs up if you think we should do hard court season, and let's give us at least a sign that we should do hard court season. I mean, if it's like, not much of a thumbs up, then maybe we'll do it every other day. But more thumbs up, there's some way we can vote on whether we should do more hard court season. But we plan on it, but the frequency is still undecided, right?
Right.
All right. So the excitement of this show is the Wimbledon draws are out. I was going to show the draw. They're out. The draws are out. So we are going to look at these draws. I think we're going to divide them out kind of section by section, or quarter by quarter, or maybe even eighth by eighth, and try to get all the way to the finals, and then give you our top 8 players that we would choose, both men's and women's, that we think have the potential to either win Wimbledon or to go deep into the tournament. We again do a fantasy bracket where we can choose 5 players ranked 1 through 16, 2 players 17 through 32, and 1 unseeded player. Now you can choose as many unseeded as you want, but that's the max you can have in each of those categories, and you still have to have 1 unseeded. But if you wanted to pick a whole bracket of unseeded players, great. It'd probably be a tough role for you though. So we're going to jump right into the draw discussions. Carla has her men's and women's done. I have my men's and women's done, with one little question mark, and maybe you guys can help me on my decision for who my men's unseeded player will be. All right, so we're going to jump right in. I'm going to check the camera. And we are good. So the time for each of these shows caps out at about 32 or 33 minutes, so hopefully we can get this done in one. I have a feeling it'll be 2. So this may be a 2-part series, and when we get to, say, 32, 33 minutes, then we'll let you know. All right, so we're going to start with, you want to start with men's or women's?
Let's do the women, since the women get no coverage.
Yeah, that's right. The women's get no coverage generally.
The men get paid enough already. They get enough coverage, enough sponsors, enough everything. Let's go with the women.
All right, we're going to go with the women. We're starting with the women.
Sorry, guys.
So we're going to start with the top half of the draw. In the top quarter, your high seed there is Halep. She's your 1 seed here. You have some names here in between. I don't see anyone in her 8th, per se, or her top section of the draw. Her 3rd round match would be potentially against Pavlyuchenkova, a Russian player who's the number 30 seed. I have Halep rolling through that top little section.
I do. I don't see any threat here at all on that, between Halep and Pavlyuchenkova. I have Halep passing the round, beating her.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I think Halep cruises into the 4th round. We're going to shift down to the next little section, and we're going to have the number 9, or the number 30 seed, or 22nd seed, the number 22 seed, Kanta, who's a British girl. She has, it looks to be a good draw for her, or a good section for her, with Mertens being the next seed she would meet at the 15 seed, and potentially the 3rd round. I think Kanta has a good chance to make that 3rd round. However, my unseeded player is really close to her. I like Cibulkova here. I'm taking Cibulkova. Kanta plays someone I've never heard of, Vikliantseva from Russia, and Cibulkova starts off against Alice Cornet from France. Cibulkova, I think, has to be pretty riled up about this tournament, because she should have been ranked number 32. If you look at your 32 seed, where she should have been, she would have been playing Elena Gabriela Rus, and then maybe would have had to face Safarova or Martic. Instead, Cibulkova faces...
No, she would have to face Savannah, possibly, in the 3rd round. So, I mean, it's almost the same thing.
Look, I had chosen for my unseeded player the likes of potentially Bouchard, Buzaranescu. I think she picked up a seed. But at the last minute, I thought about it. I think I'm going to take Cibulkova as my unseeded player.
Well, Buzaranescu is actually seeded, Justin.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I think your Bouchard would have been safer. Cibulkova has a chance of losing to Alice Cornet. Big chance of losing there. She might not even pass that first round.
So where's Bouchard on? I mean, I saw her, but okay, I see where Bouchard is. So Bouchard is going to play Lynette to start, then potentially Barty. You know, Bouchard could be good.
Yeah, I don't know why you're counting your chickens on Cibulkova beating Cornet. Cornet is a good French woman, and she's capable of beating her and even maybe upsetting Konta. I don't think so, because I have Konta going all the way to the 4th round, and even beating Halep.
Really?
Yes.
So you think Konta beats Halep this tournament?
I know she does. Halep is too small for this surface. She's not powerful enough. Konta is a big woman. She's almost 6 feet. She's gonna have the crowd behind her. She'll beat Halep in the 4th round.
Okay, I mean, I think that's kind of good. A good thought. I don't think it'll necessarily occur, but all right, I can feel that. I can feel that. All right, so we're gonna push forward to the next little section where we have Ostapenko, who's of course a French Open champion at one point. She is taking on someone I haven't heard of from Great Britain, Dun D-U in the first match. However, Sharapova is in her section. So Sharapova and Ostapenko could meet in the 3rd round. I think that makes it risky to choose either one of them to win Wimbledon because they have to face each other right off. Sharapova could annihilate Ostapenko, and Ostapenko could annihilate a semi-practiced Sharapova.
Well, I have Ostapenko and Sharapova meeting in the 3rd round, with Sharapova winning that match. But they're both going to meet some good players. I mean, Heather Watson could win her round and meet her in the 2nd round. And then Kenin, the young American that's been winning, could meet Sharapova, which looks almost exactly like her, except she's shorter. They have the same type of game. She's looking. Sharapova's going to play her future. What it's going to be the future of tennis.
Yeah.
She's looking at herself 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's definitely hot.
Yeah. Sorry.
So it's like heat index today. I think it's about 104. We're in the shade, so another 95 deal. But it's all right. We're moving forward. Okay, so. Kenin, I think, by the way, I think she's born in Russia and moved to the U.S. or she was born here. Isn't that the Russian girl?
Yes, she is. I'm not sure. I think she was born in Russia, left maybe before she was a year old. Parents moved her to the United States.
Yeah. So she is listed as from U.S. and I think she flies the U.S. flag. She might have been Russian born though. I'm not quite sure there. All right, moving to the next section, we have Kvitova's section. The only seed in that section, in Kvitova's section, is Gavrilova. I see Kvitova sailing right through that.
I see the same thing. I don't see any threat here. I have Kvitova beating Sharapova in the 4th round and meeting Konta in the quarters and going to the semis and making it to the finals.
All right, well, I have Halep beating on my draw. I think I'm still going to go with Bouchard. I think she talked me out of it being my unseeded player. But I had Halep meeting Cibulkova. And Cibulkova taking out Konta, thus giving us a Halep-Kvitova quarter. And then I had Kvitova beating Halep getting into the semis, and we'll discuss that, who she would face shortly. And her section, or her half of the draw in the semis. So in the next section, we would have Muguruza as the 3 seed, and Kontaveit as the 28 seed. That's kind of a scary player to be near Muguruza as Kontaveit. Really scary setup there for me.
Yeah, I mean, I have them meeting in the 3rd round, but I do have Muguruza taking over it, just because she's been in the final before. She's won the Wimbledon. She's won 2 Grand Slams. I think she'll get through that match, but I have her losing in the quarters, Muguruza.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite some firepower on the women's side. Especially here at Wimbledon this year. It's a really tough juggle to try to pick a good team. The next section, Barty, who was hot on grass for the past 2 weeks, is coming in at the 17 seed, and Kasatkina, who she likes a lot, they're in the same little section. So therefore, I kind of backed away from both of them, even though I like both of them.
See, I kind of forgot about Barty, kind of just left it blank, and I have Kasatkina going all the way to the quarters, meeting Muguruza and beating her. I'm going to stick with her. I said I was going to stick with her, but I think she'll lose after that. And as far as Barty, Bouchard has a very good chance of beating Barty. I mean, they would meet in the second round.
Tough call, seriously. There's so many really tight matches in the first round. I hope we see some women's coverage for Wimbledon.
Oh, you know you will. It's a Grand Slam. You'll see women.
Yeah,
coverage.
we've been 2 weeks with having to dig deep for women's material, and I really hope we get some here. Really incredible matches. The next section, and by the way, don't count Kasatkina out. I was going to pick Kasatkina as one of my favorites to win the whole tournament, but because she's tangled up in that same section with Barty, with Bouchard, I don't know enough. I haven't seen her enough consistently over the years to say I know she's going to roll through those players with the likes of the Serenas around and the other people at the top of the game.
Well, I actually did a little bit of research, and I looked at Kasatkina against Muguruza, and Kasatkina actually is winning head-to-head. And then I went on, well, we'll talk about that after.
Yeah.
Because my other players are going to meet her in the quarters.
All right, so the next section, we have Kerber playing a veteran player in Vera Zvonareva in the first round. I had to take Kerber completely. For 2 weeks, I've talked about putting Kerber in my draw. Definitely was going to take her, and I'm definitely going to take her. I can't take her because she's playing such a seasoned veteran. I really think Kerber's going to destroy Zvonareva, but because of her level of experience, and she'll probably be pretty calm out there, and Kerber should be too. She's won some majors, but I can't gamble it. Vera Zvonareva is a veteran, so is Kerber, but I had to kind of take my eyes off of that quarter or that section because of that initial matchup. Osaka is in that section too, so it could be a Kerber-Osaka third round, but honestly, I'd rather see a Zvonareva make it further than either of the players. I'm not a huge Kerber fan, and I'm not a huge Osaka fan.
I'm not a huge Kerber fan, but I don't think that I don't think the seasoned veteran has a chance against her. She just hasn't played enough tennis. I'm sure she still has it in her, but I have Kerber. I think this is an easy draw for Kerber. Actually, that bottom half is pretty weak in my opinion. I have her going all the way to the quarters.
So here's a good section here. The next and last section on the top half of the draw. One of the seeds is Carla Suarez Navarro. No big deal. I don't think she'll get very far. Beautiful one-handed backhand by this player. That's not why I mentioned this section, and neither do I mention it for the other seed in that section, who is Caroline Garcia from France. One's the 27 seed and one's the 6 seed. I like 4 other players. I like 4 players in this section. All of them are unseeded. I'll name them. Kaya Kanepi, solid player. She got drilled here, I think, a couple days ago, but that's all right. She's a strong player. Allison Risk, the U.S. player. Okay, that's another good one. She's good on grass. But Timea Basinski from Sweden, or from Switzerland rather, and also Belinda Bencic. Those 4 players. Belinda Bencic, Switzerland, Basinski, Switzerland, Risk, U.S., Kanepi, Estonia, all I think are better than Navarro or Garcia, and they're unseeded.
Well, I started doing my research. I know Justin said he wasn't going to look much into it, but I looked at Bencic and I wanted to see what was going on with her. And she's even went as low as to playing challengers and had to retire from it due to injury. Definitely not a good unseeded player at all.
What about Basinski?
Basinski is a veteran now. I mean, she's older.
Didn't Basinski make like a French Open final?
I don't even remember. I looked to see how she was doing in grass. Didn't play much. Brisk, I know what type of player she is, and I have her winning her first round match, and could possibly beat Carla Suarez Navarro. But they're not going to be in my bracket. It doesn't matter to me. Maybe it matters to somebody, but I don't think they'll make any difference in my bracket. And Garcia could lose anytime. The number 60. That's why I think it's going to be easy for Kerber to cruise.
Okay. I mean, I like the opinion. Now I'm second guessing my team.
I'm sorry.
But I'm still plodding along with what I've chose. I think 4 straight Wimbledons. If I don't win this one because I think I'm making some mistakes, then that's okay. But right now I'm the king of grass in this house, and we're going to continue to keep the king of grass.
Okay.
All right, that's how it's going to be.
Stop dreaming. But anyways.
All right.
So who do you have in your quarters?
We're going to stay with the top half?
Yeah, finish the top half.
All right, so in the top half, I have Halep playing Kvitova, and I have Muguruza playing Kanepi.
Wow.
Kanepi. I have Muguruza playing Kanepi.
Well, I've got Konta, Kvitova, quarterfinals, and I've got Kasatkina, Kerber, quarterfinals. And then as my semis, I have Kvitova and Kasatkina meeting. And you?
Did you just say your semifinal?
Yeah.
I have, who did you have in your semi?
Kvitova and Kasatkina.
Okay, I have Kvitova and Muguruza. But watch out for Bouchard, Kanepi. Watch out for Bouchard and Kanepi. I mean, Bouchard she's been to a Wimbledon final. I mean, if she's ready to fight, watch out for Bouchard, but Kanepi is interesting as well. But I have Kvitova meeting Muguruza with Muguruza beating Kvitova.
I have Kvitova winning.
And Muguruza
Muguruza making it to the final?
Okay. Muguruza, yes. All right. So moving on to the lower half, we have in this half your Wozniacki is your 2 seed. We had the 1 seed that we discussed in Halep. Wozniacki's the 2, so she's at the bottom. Perfect world, those 2 meet. I don't think it's going to happen. Right off the bat, Pliskova I like. Carolina, she faces kind of a no-namer that at least I haven't heard of her, Dart, D-A-R-T, from Great Britain. However, just below her is Azarenka and Sabalenka in the same quarter, or the same little section. So I had discussed putting Pliskova on my team and then winning the tournament when we first started this 24 now show series. But Pliskova has Azarenka potentially in the second round. And then if this girl Sabalenka or Buzarednescu, who have both been hot this grass season, she would have to potentially face one of those 2 in the 3rd round, and then Venus Williams in the 4th round, and then maybe Sloane Stephens in the 5th round, or the quarterfinals, and then Kvitova potentially. I mean, not Kvitova. Yeah,
Serena Williams.
Yes, Serena playing in the semis. I mean, wow.
That's a tough draw.
Yeah, that's got to be like the hardest draw ever in tennis history. So, Carolina Pliskova, I'm sorry. If you win this tournament, you earned it.
Yeah, see, I have her winning her first round, but I almost picked Azarenka as my unseeded player, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen much of her. But I have her beating Pliskova in the next round. But I still didn't pick either one. I just don't have enough faith in both of them.
Tough.
And then as far as your Sabalenka, I mean, Sabalenka and Buzarednescu are playing right off, and I would think that the top seed would take that match. So Sabalenka is definitely out for me, and I have Buzarenka going. I mean, I really kind of ignore that top because they're not players I am picking at all.
I wanted to like Azarenka in this tournament. I wanted to like Pliskova in this tournament. I wanted to like Sabalenka in this tournament. But when you have all 3 of them grouped together, boom, 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 like first round and second round potentials, I had to stay away from them. Choosing them as part of my fantasy tennis team.
Same here. I couldn't do it.
Because I'm going to lose somebody right off potentially, and that's not good to do that. All right, so moving down in the next section, our seeds are Kiki Bertens and Venus Williams. I have Venus rolling right through that section, rolling right into the 4th round against potentially Sabalenka, Azarenka, or Pliskova.
I totally agree with you. What a gift for Venus Williams. I think that she will cruise right along, but I still did not pick her. I couldn't. There were too many other players that I thought, in my opinion, were better that would go in my bracket. But I think this is a good chance for Serena to possibly get back in the quarters.
You mean Venus?
Venus, I'm sorry. Yes, Serena Venus.
For me, I like Venus a lot. Venus, I think, has won 5 Wimbledons. Or 3, 5?
It could be 5.
I think she's won 5 Wimbledons, I think. I wouldn't I don't think it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if Venus won the whole tournament. I don't think it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen. I have Venus going to the quarters. That's just me. I have Venus making a quarterfinal, if not further. But again, she may have to meet Sabalenka or Azarenka in that quarter, and then also in her quarter would be Sloane Stephens, but we haven't gotten to her yet.
Yeah, Sloane Stephens would be a tough cookie to beat the way she's playing.
Yeah. So moving down the next little section of seeds, we have Julia Georges and Strykova in that little bracket. Georges being 13 seed, Strykova being the 23rd seed. Forget about either one of those players before we talk about Kuznetsova. Kuznetsova's in there, and Kuznetsova's playing Strykova. Wait a minute. I think I picked Strykova. I did.
See, I could not pick Strykova because of Kuznetsova. Kuznetsova is, I think she's won 3 Grand Slams, something like that, and she's a seasoned veteran. She can beat anyone on any given day. It depends if she wants to be out there long enough, and she has a great chance of upsetting Strykova.
I'm going to stick with my guns on this. I like Strykova to beat Kuznetsova. I like Kuznetsova a lot. I've seen her play in person against Justine Henin. Strong girl, but I think Strykova's going to handle business. I did pick Strykova. Fun little section to watch, so I'm going to be on pins and needles day one.
Good luck, Justin.
All right, next section of seeds. We have a young lady from China that's 31, Shuai Zheng, and Sloane Stephens. In that little section, I think Stephens rolls right through the quarterfinals and meets Venus, beating the likes of Petkovic, beating the likes of either Strykova or Kuznetsova. I think Stephens is going to cruise.
I agree with you. There's quite a few good players in that little section, though. You have Zhang playing Petkovic. I think one of our kids chose Petkovic to upset the number 31 seed. Bartel is a great player who's playing another one who back in the early 2000s, Wickemeyer was a great player until her whole doping thing. So there's a few tough matches, but I don't think, and you got Vekic that we've spoken about, a lot.
Right off the bat.
So, I think Stephens will handle business, and I think she'll make her first semifinal.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that. I like Stephens. She's a pretty girl and seems to be a fighter, and she's won a major.
Yeah, so, I have her in my bracket. Usually I don't go for Stephens, but I couldn't, with the way the draw is, she has a great chance of making it.
Yeah, good for Stephens. Bravo, standing ovation. I've only done that, I think, 3 times. Darren Cahill was one. I forget who the other one was. Sloane Stephens. It could have even been Sloane second.
I think it was a 16-year-old girl who made it into the qualities.
Oh, okay.
And I forgot her name.
Standing O, Sloane. Good job. Represent here. Represent. All right, so we're going to push forward to the next section where our seeds there are Svitolina, the 5 seed, where Serena, the 25th seed, rolls into the draw. Again, Serena is facing a pretty good little player in Arank Saru starting out. She's been on tour a while. I think she's from the Netherlands. I expect Serena to cruise to the semifinals, passing up the likes of Keys, passing up the likes of Vandeweghe, passing up the likes of even Wozniacki, who's at the bottom of the draw. So I'm seeing Serena roll through to the semis. I think she's the person to beat headed to the semis. I'm not sure if I think she wins this tournament, though.
I also have Venus rolling right through the semis. I actually have her beating Stephens. Just
You mean Serena?
What do I keep saying? Venus, Serena,
Yeah,
Venus. I'm confusing them today.
Them, yes.
No, I think Serena should handle Stephens. She is the veteran. She is the queen of tennis. I think they gave her a great draw. Good for her. I don't see anyone stopping her.
Yeah, I think it would be a waste of time to discuss the chances of... where did she go? Here. I don't think Russa's going to beat her. Mladenovic, TM's girlfriend, Tomova, I've never heard of, from Bulgaria.
Sabina will give her a good challenge. A good warm-up match.
Arank Saru could.
I don't think so, Justin.
Arank Saru was a promising junior at one point. All right, so the next section, we have Rybarkova and Madison Keys. Really no one in between those two that jumps out at me. I see this girl from Australia, Tom Zelanovic. We have covered her a little bit the past couple of weeks. but I don't see anybody getting in the way of Rybar-Karlarova and Madison Keys meeting in a third round, with Keys beating her to make the fourth round and meeting Serena, and then Serena winning that.
That's exactly what I have.
All right, so
I mean, it is a great chance, though, for Keys to try to prove herself by beating Serena. It'll be a tough thing to do, but if she does, I mean, gosh, she would have to face her best friend again, and I hate to see that again for a third time, honestly.
Yeah, tough call. So we got some thunder back there, nice thunderstorm rolling in. I don't know if you can see it, but I can hear it. All right, so that's good for the heat. Brings the heat down a little bit.
Yes, I'm sweating like crazy.
All right, yeah, sweat fest. Okay, so here we get into the bottom half of this, or the bottom section of the entire draw. We have Coco Vandeweghe as the 16 seed, Sevitsova as the 21st seed, and in between them, not much action. I do see Krunic, K-R-U-N-I-C, who I was going to pick as my unseeded, and then as well, I see Camila Giorgi. Now, Krunic just jumped back on my radar. I don't know. Okay, Krunic just jumped back on my radar because Coco. Krunic, I think.
Yeah, Krunic is it could be a good pick.
Krunic.
Krunic. I have Coco though going all the way to the fourth round, but Krunic could upset Sevastova. I mean, she has a good chance. She's had a good grass court season, so that's another. If you're looking at another unseeded player, that would be a good one to look at.
Did I not talk about though Krunic being an unseeded player, or just that she was winning?
You mentioned her a lot. That that's somebody to watch out for. I mean, she in that little bottom section. Coco should take advantage of these players that she has, but who knows with her.
You think they can hear us for the thunder?
I'm sure they can hear us, Justin.
Okay. All right, so we are now even more confused about who my unseeded player is going to be.
I'm sticking to my guns, so.
All right, so in the last small section, I have Radzwanska, who has jumped back into the thick of things, and Wozniacki. I like both of the players. I think I have Wozniacki on my team. I do. I'm pretty confident that Wozniacki can beat Radzwanska.
Oh, yeah.
And then potentially Krunic or Radzwanska, however that works out, or Vandeweghe. And I have Venus meeting Serena. Or I have Wozniacki meeting Serena in the quarters. And Serena winning that to get into the semifinals against either Venus could make the semi against her sister, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I right there?
Yeah,
Venus can get there, Serena.
She could.
So I have Serena meeting Venus or Stevens in the semi. So I think that's how it'll roll down. Serena versus Stevens or Serena versus Venus in the semis.
Well, see, I have Wozniacki winning her first round. I mean, she's going to have a tough second round. Makarova is a tough player. She's done good at Wimbledon. And then I have Radzwanska meeting Safarova. My unseeded player is Safarova. Safarova had a great Wimbledon last year. I think she made a quarter last year. She's become a very good singles player. I have Safarova could possibly beat Wozniacki, in my opinion. I mean, maybe not, but I do have Wozniacki and Serena quarterfinals. But Williams has always dominated Wozniacki.
So how far do you think you have Wozniacki going?
Well, I have her going to the quarters, but I don't think she's a match for Serena. They're very good buddies, and Serena loves playing her. I mean, she feeds off those little balls.
All right, so, wow, that's deep. I was so focused on the team that I already had laid out, and now I've got question marks. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you my final that I have predicted and who I think is going to win the final for the women. So I have Muguruza beating Kvitova to make the final on the top half. And I have...
Well, why don't you just give us your picks?
I have Sloane Stevens meeting Serena in the other semi. So I have a Serena Muguruza final with Muguruza winning the tournament. Okay? Now, on my team that I selected, here's my Wimbledon fantasy team. Kvitova, Muguruza, Sloane Stevens, Wozniacki, Venus Williams, Serena Williams, Strykova, and Bouchard or Krunic. I can't decide Krunic or Bouchard as my unseeded player. I just can't. It's freaking me out.
Well, I have, on the top draw, I have Kvitova and Kasatkina playing in the semis, and I have Kvitova winning. And then I have Stevens and Serena Williams meeting in the semis with Serena Williams. My final is obviously Kvitova, Serena Williams, and Kvitova taking another Wimbledon. My picks for my bracket are Serena, Stevens, Kvitova, Kasatkina, Kerber, Konta, Sharapova, and Safarova. I'm not changing mine.
So you're set.
I'm set.
All right, so I think sometimes in life we think too much and then we go back and we change things we've been planning and then we end up shooting ourselves in the foot. So I'm pretty certain that I mentioned Krunic as being my unseeded player, but I don't recall, but I know I discussed Bouchard.
You did.
At length.
And I thought you should have stuck to that, but...
So I'm going to lock it in. I'm not going to change it. My team is Kvitova, Muguruza, Stevens, Wozniacki, Venus, Serena, Strykova, and Bouchard.
Awesome.
May the best man or woman win. I plan to win.
I'm winning.
I've won 4 years in a row between the two of us at Wimbledon. Now she has beaten me. Actually, I won between just in the house. Jonathan won, our 16-year-old son won the French, but I came in last. You were dead last.
Yes.
So actually, I beat you in the French this year, too. So I've won the French this year. I actually won the Australian over you, too. So I've won the Australian
I don't
over her.
remember that, but okay.
The Australian I won over her. The French I won over her. So I'm going for a golden slam where I can win, not a golden, just a calendar slam. I'm going for the Australian, which I won, the French, in which I won, and now I'm going for Wimbledon.
I don't think he'll win, but okay.
So anyway, there will be a part 2. We are doing men's draws today. Give us a thumbs up, though, at least so we can judge whether or not we do this for hardcourt season or whether we just do it anyway on our own, as we've always done for years. But we enjoy doing it, but give us the sign. We'd appreciate it. We do it for you so we can have discussions and have fun. So thanks again, and thanks so much for watching. Click a like below, subscribe below, and as always, this beautiful Spanish young lady says,
Adios.
adios, have a good one.